Here are Grandma's 31 free organic gardening hacks you didn't know worked. Use banana peel water for a potassium boost. Grandma knew that banana peels aren't just kitchen scraps. They make a gentle fertilizer that helps plants bloom and fruit better. When banana peels soak in water, they release potassium and small amounts of other minerals that plants use right away. To try this trick, chop a couple of peels, drop them into a jar, and cover with water. Let the mixture steep for 2 to 3 days so the nutrients can dissolve. Strain the liquid, then water your flowering plants with it. Pour the remaining peels into the soil around heavy feeders to keep the boost going. Plant basil near tomatoes to improve growth. Did you know that basil can help tomatoes grow stronger and stay healthier? Planting basil nearby gives off a scent that confuses pests like aphids and whiteflies, keeping them away from tender tomato leaves. To use this trick, place a basil plant about a foot from your tomato, giving both enough space to breathe. Water them well and pinch back basil leaves as it grows so it stays compact. This pairing encourages better growth, fewer pests, and often richer tomato flavor as the plants thrive side by side. Pollinate squash flowers with a Q-tip. If you notice your squash plants flowering but not producing fruit, try pollinating them by hand like Grandma did. Pick a male flower. It's on a thin stem and has just a stamen inside, early in the morning, and use a clean Q-tip to collect yellow pollen from its center. Dab the Q-tip into a female flower. Look for a small bulb at its base. Repeat with every open female flower, using a fresh Q-tip for each plant if you want to avoid cross-pollination. This works just as well for zucchini and cucumbers. If you're unsure about flower types, mark a few and watch which ones begin to swell. Those are your female blooms, and you'll quickly get the hang of it for future harvests. Weed tea fertilizer from soaked weeds. Instead of tossing pulled weeds, make a free fertilizer by stuffing a bucket 2/3 full of fresh weeds like chickweed or clover, then cover with water and weigh everything down with a stone. Stir every few days and let it ferment in the shade for about 1 to 2 weeks. Once the water turns brown and has a strong smell, strain the liquid, dilute it with 10 parts water, and pour around the roots of vegetables and flowers for a natural boost. Avoid using weeds that have gone to seed so you don't spread more weeds, and try pouring the leftover solids around fruit trees as a nutrient-rich mulch. Soak seeds in Epsom salt solution. For stronger seedlings, Grandma always soaked her seeds in a mix of 1 tablespoon Epsom salt to a quart of warm water. Let seeds such as beans, peas, or peppers soak for 8 hours, which softens the seed coat and gives a dose of magnesium for faster, healthier sprouting. After soaking, plant directly into moist soil. This method is especially helpful for thick-shelled seeds. For the largest seeds, roughen them with sandpaper before soaking so they can absorb more water. And if you have extra solution left, use it to water transplants and give them a little extra boost. Save seed packets for notes. When you finish planting, keep your empty seed packets as a personal garden journal. Write notes on the packets about the planting date, weather, or any issues you spot like pest troubles or poor germination. Store them in a shoebox for easy reference next season. This collection quickly becomes a handy, zero-cost record for comparing varieties and tracking what worked or didn't. If you add a few dried leaves or tape a flower petal to the packet, you'll find it's much easier to identify which plants grew best, and you'll have a colorful guide for planning your next round. Train tree branches with clothespins. Shape young fruit trees by using wooden clothespins to angle branches outward. Clip a pin between the trunk and each new, flexible side branch in early spring, spacing them so each limb has plenty of room to catch sunlight and air. After a month, remove the pins. Branches should now hold their new position, making the tree easier to prune and harvest in the future. It helps to use brightly colored pins, so you'll remember to take them off before branches get too thick, and you can reuse them year after year as your trees continue to grow and fill out. Soak seeds in water for better germination. Did you know that soaking seeds in water can help them sprout faster and more reliably? Fill a small glass or bowl with lukewarm water and drop in your seeds: beans, peas, sunflowers, or even squash. Let them soak for 6 to 12 hours, but avoid leaving them longer or they might rot. After soaking, drain and plant seeds right away in moist soil. This softens the seed coat, allowing the seedling inside to push through more easily and begin growing quickly. For tiny or delicate seeds, use a damp paper towel instead of a bowl, then gently press the plumped up seeds into the soil. You'll often see seedlings pop up earlier and more evenly, giving your garden a real head start. Mark your seed rows for easier tracking as everything begins to sprout. Car washing sponge in pots for moisture. If you want your potted plants to stay moist longer and not dry out in hot weather, try using a car washing sponge as a water reservoir. Before filling your pot with soil, place a clean, unscented car washing sponge in the bottom. As you water, the sponge soaks up extra moisture and slowly releases it back to the roots as the soil dries out. This hack is especially helpful for hanging baskets or small planters that dry out quickly. Combine this method with a layer of mulch on top of the soil, and you'll find your plants need less frequent watering while roots stay healthy and happy. If you're growing thirsty herbs or vegetables, this extra moisture control can be a real lifesaver during dry spells or vacations. Suppress weeds with cardboard. Cardboard is an easy, chemical-free way to keep weeds from taking over your garden beds. Break down any cardboard box, remove tape and labels, and lay the sheets flat over bare soil or between rows of vegetables. Wet the cardboard so it hugs the ground, then top with mulch, compost, or grass clippings. The cardboard blocks sunlight, smothering weeds and keeping the soil below cooler and moist. Over time, worms will break it down and pull it into the soil, improving structure and fertility. For stubborn or large weed patches, use 2 overlapping layers for extra control. Remember to poke some holes or slits so water can seep through to thirsty roots beneath. Check on your cardboard mulch regularly and add more as it decomposes throughout the growing season. Drag heavy bags with an old towel. Moving heavy bags of soil, mulch, or compost can be tough on your back and arms, but an old towel makes it a breeze. Lay a sturdy bath towel on the ground, place the heavy bag on top, and then grab the ends of the towel to pull. The towel slides smoothly over grass, dirt, or concrete, allowing you to move bulky loads without as much lifting or straining. For rougher surfaces, fold the towel to add thickness and prevent tears. This trick works well for big pots, buckets, or even firewood. When you're finished, just shake out the dirt and throw the towel in the wash so it's ready next time. If you need to haul things upstairs or slopes, use a larger beach towel for an even easier pull. Protect plants with a clear gallon jug. A clear gallon jug becomes a simple and effective mini greenhouse for delicate plants. Rinse out the jug, cut off the bottom, and gently place it over a young seedling, pressing the sides into the soil to anchor it. The jug traps heat and moisture, giving new plants a cozy microclimate that helps them grow faster, even in cool or windy weather. On warm days, unscrew the cap for ventilation and put it back on if frost is expected overnight. When seedlings outgrow their covers, clean and store the jugs for next spring. This trick is great for protecting early crops, starting seeds outside sooner, or shielding plants from hungry critters. And you'll always have your own free, reusable cloches on hand. Add powdered eggshells for calcium. Did you know that regular crushed eggshells take a long time to decompose in the soil? This makes their calcium hard for plants to use. To fix this, Grandma always saved her eggshells, rinsed them clean, then baked them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes to make them dry and brittle. Next, she'd grind the shells into a fine powder using a rolling pin or coffee grinder. Sprinkle this powder directly into planting holes or around established plants, especially tomatoes and peppers, for a fast calcium boost. Mixing powdered eggshell into a potting mix or sprinkling it on top lets it break down quickly and become available for roots. Water well so the calcium soaks in. If you have leftover powder, keep it dry in a jar and add a spoonful every few weeks for strong stems and healthy fruit. Start seeds in an orange peel. Give your seedlings a nutrient boost and reduce waste by starting seeds in an orange peel. Slice an orange in half. Scoop out the fruit and poke a small drainage hole in the bottom of each half. Fill the empty peel with moist seed starting mix. Plant your seed and place the peel on a tray or shallow dish. As the seedling grows, the peel will hold in moisture and slowly decompose, adding nutrients to the soil. When your seedling has true leaves and strong roots, transplant the whole thing, peel and all, directly into the garden or a larger pot. The peel continues to break down, enriching the soil and protecting the tender roots. Try this trick with lemons or grapefruits too for even more seedling pots. Self-watering pot from soda bottle. Make an easy self-watering pot from a clean 2-liter soda bottle. Cut the bottle in half. Poke a small hole in the cap, then thread a thick cotton string or strip of old t-shirt through it as a wick. Fill the bottom half of the bottle with water, then flip the top half upside down and nestle it into the base so the wick dangles into the reservoir. Add potting mix and plant your seedling in the top. Water soaks up through the wick, keeping soil evenly moist, even if you forget to water for a few days. Check the reservoir often and refill as needed. This DIY pot works great for herbs, lettuce, or houseplants, and is perfect for kids or anyone who travels often. Cardboard box pots for seedlings. Cardboard boxes are ideal for starting seeds and are easy to plant directly in the garden. Find a small box, like one from pasta or tea, and remove any tape or glossy coating. Poke holes in the bottom for drainage, then fill with damp seed starting mix. Sow your seeds and place the box on a tray or plate. The cardboard keeps soil moist, but won't let roots get soggy, and you can write the plant name right on the box for easy tracking. When seedlings are big enough, plant the whole box in the garden. The cardboard breaks down naturally, letting roots grow through and protecting seedlings from transplant shock. Use several boxes for a whole tray of sturdy, eco-friendly seedlings. Boost compost with wood ashes. Grandma always knew how to make her compost richer by adding a sprinkle of wood ashes from the fireplace or wood stove. She'd let the ashes cool, then sift them to remove any big charcoal pieces before lightly spreading them in the compost bin. Wood ash adds potassium and other minerals that help balance compost acidity, but she was careful not to use too much, as it can make the mix too alkaline. She avoided ashes from charcoal briquettes or treated wood, which aren't safe for the garden. By stirring in a little ash every few weeks, Grandma kept her compost pile healthy and her soil rich. If you notice your compost getting soggy or smelly, a small scoop of wood ash will help absorb moisture and keep odors down. Plywood strips to trap slugs. Slugs love dark, cool hiding spots. Lay flat strips of plywood or even old boards between rows in your garden in the evening. By morning, you'll find slugs gathered underneath, hiding from the sun. Simply lift the board and remove the pests. Repeat this daily, especially after rain or watering. For best results, use plywood pieces at least a foot long so slugs have room to gather. After clearing slugs, flip the strip over and let it dry in the sun to discourage mold. This method is safe for pets and kids, and you can move the boards around to cover new areas as needed. Mark spacing on garden tools. To make planting easier and more accurate, use a permanent marker or paint pen to mark inches or centimeters along the handle of your favorite garden trowel or hoe. Line up the end of the tool at the starting spot, then use the marks to measure the correct distance between seeds or seedlings as you plant. For longer rows, use a yardstick or tape measure to mark every 6 or 12 inches along the handle of a rake or shovel. Having these guides right in your hand saves time, avoids crowding plants, and keeps your rows straight. When the marks fade, touch them up again at the start of each season. Paint stir sticks for plant tags. Paint stir sticks from the hardware store make sturdy and easy-to-spot plant tags. Write the plant name and variety on each stick using a waterproof marker or paint pen. Stick the tag at the end of each garden row or write in a big pot so you can see it from a distance. For even more color, paint the tops of the sticks with bright leftover paint, then let them dry before writing your labels. The large surface gives you plenty of room for notes, like sowing date or days to harvest. Collect and clean the sticks at the end of the season to use again next year. Urine as fertilizer. Did you know that fresh human urine, when diluted, makes an excellent and almost free fertilizer for your garden? It's loaded with nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, all nutrients plants crave. The trick is to always dilute it. 1 part urine to 10 parts water is safe for most crops. Grandma would quietly collect a bit in a clean jug, dilute it well, and pour it around the base of fast-growing vegetables like corn, squash, or even fruit trees. She avoided splashing leaves or using it on root vegetables that would be eaten raw. Afterward, she watered the area so nutrients would sink deep into the soil. If you want to try this, rotate the application spots each time and always use urine from healthy people only for a truly thrifty boost to your harvest. Cayenne pepper to deter animals. If you're tired of cats digging, rabbits munching, or squirrels raiding your garden, sprinkle a generous layer of cayenne pepper powder around plants and along garden edges. The spicy smell and taste discourage most mammals from returning for another snack. Reapply after heavy rain or watering, as the scent fades quickly in wet conditions. But for extra strength, mix cayenne with garlic powder or black pepper and scatter the blend anywhere you notice animal activity. Some gardeners even add the pepper to birdseed to keep squirrels away. Birds aren't bothered by the heat. Always wash your hands thoroughly after use and keep powder away from your face or eyes. For best results, use this trick early in the season so critters learn to stay clear from the start. Control aphids with dish soap spray. Aphids suck sap from leaves and stems, quickly weakening garden plants, but a simple dish soap spray will stop them in their tracks. Mix 1 quart of water with a teaspoon of mild, fragrance-free dish soap in a spray bottle. Shake well and spray directly onto leaves, especially the undersides where aphids hide. The soap breaks down the insect's protective coating, causing them to dehydrate and die. Repeat every 3 days until the infestation is gone. Always test a small patch first to make sure your plant isn't sensitive. For heavy outbreaks, add a splash of vegetable oil to the mix for longer sticking power. Avoid spraying during hot sunny hours to prevent leaf burn, and rinse plants with plain water after a few days if needed. Scarify seeds with clippers. Tough seeds like morning glory, nasturtium, or sweet peas can take weeks to sprout unless you scarify them. Hold each seed firmly and use nail clippers or a small file to gently nick the outer shell, just enough to expose the inside without harming it. Soak the nicked seeds in water overnight before planting. The scar allows water to penetrate quickly, waking up the seed and speeding germination. Always scarify seeds right before you sow, and only do this for large, hard seeds. Delicate seeds don't need this treatment and may be damaged by it. Keep a small container handy for scarified seeds and label them so you don't mix them up. You'll notice seedlings popping up sooner and more evenly across the bed. Clean tools with vinegar. Keeping tools clean means less disease in your garden and longer-lasting equipment. Fill a bucket with white vinegar and soak your rusty or dirty hand tools for 1 to 2 hours. The acid loosens rust and grime, making it easy to scrub away with a brush or steel wool. Rinse the tools well and dry thoroughly to prevent new rust from forming. For extra stubborn spots, repeat the soak or warm the vinegar before use. Vinegar also helps disinfect pruners, preventing the spread of plant diseases from one plant to another. Wipe metal blades with a touch of oil after cleaning to keep them sharp and rust-free, ready for next season's chores. Cinnamon to repel ants. Cinnamon isn't just for baking. Sprinkle ground cinnamon along ant trails, around plant pots, or in cracks where ants are sneaking into your house or greenhouse. The strong smell masks their scent trails and disrupts their communication, sending them elsewhere in search of food. For potted plants, dust a ring of cinnamon on the soil surface to keep ants from nesting. If you spot ants marching along windowsills or garden beds, reapply every few days or after watering. Cinnamon also has mild antifungal properties, so it's safe to use around seedlings. Pair cinnamon with coffee grounds or citrus peels for even more pest-repelling power, and enjoy an ant-free, naturally protected growing space all season long. Fruit containers as powder or fertilizer spreaders. Plastic fruit containers with holes make excellent no-cost spreaders for garden powders or dry fertilizer. Wash out a used berry or grape container and let it dry. Fill it with powdered eggshells, garden lime, or organic fertilizer granules. Shake the container gently over garden beds. The small holes ensure even distribution and prevent clumps. For a finer dust, use a sifter or line the inside with mesh. Label each container clearly so you don't mix up your supplies. Snap the lid shut when storing to keep everything dry and spill-free. If you use several powders, stack containers in a basket for easy access. This method is perfect for sprinkling diatomaceous earth, pest control dust, or any fine garden amendment with little mess and maximum control. Start seeds in an egg carton. Paper egg cartons are the perfect eco-friendly seed starters. Cut the lid off and poke a small drainage hole in each cup. Fill every cell with seed starting mix. Plant your seeds and water lightly. Place the tray in a warm, sunny window or under grow lights. Once seedlings are large enough to transplant, cut each cup apart. Plant the whole cup in the garden or a larger pot. The carton decomposes naturally, protecting delicate roots and adding organic matter to the soil. Write plant names on the edge of the carton for easy tracking. If you have plastic egg cartons, use them as mini greenhouses by closing the lid to trap humidity until seeds sprout. Store seeds with silica packs. Keep your saved seeds dry and ready for next season by storing them with silica gel packs. Save those little moisture-absorbing packets from new shoes, snacks, or pill bottles. Place one in your seed envelope or jar before sealing tightly. Silica packs pull moisture out of the air, helping seeds last longer and reducing the risk of mold or rot. Label each packet clearly with plant name and harvest date. For big collections, store all seed packets in a large, airtight jar with a few silica packs inside. Check packs yearly. If they stop working, dry them in a warm oven and reuse. This simple trick gives you better germination next spring. Natural barriers for slug protection. Slugs choose seedlings overnight, but a simple organic barrier can keep them safe. Tear strips of thick cardboard or collect wide, sturdy leaves and circle them around your new plants, pressing the edges slightly into the soil so they stand upright. These barriers create a rough, dry surface that slugs dislike crossing while still letting sunlight reach your seedlings. Replace the barrier as it breaks down or after slug season ends. For extra protection, sprinkle a generous ring of crushed eggshells, coffee grounds, or a layer of sharp sand around the outside edge. Both the barrier and natural deterrents break down into the soil over time, adding nutrients for healthy growth. Save cardboard all year for a steady supply of instant slug shields when planting new seeds or starts.